White belt.
Strength and conditioning for MMA fighters. I am here with a MMA fighter that is a sports physio as well. He's also a BJJ purple belt. We have to check this moment.
Who give him? We have to check that moment.
He's Marko Grujo, or for the English people, Marko Grujo. And he will tell you a little bit about the strength conditioning for MMA fighters, but more in this video. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Assalamu alaikum Malada.
Hi guys, I'm Marko. As this white belt has told you, I'm a sports physio, so I'm rehabbing on a daily basis athletes from injury to back to competition. I'm doing training with them and build them back up to be able to perform on their best. So today we're going to talk about MMA conditioning, what to do for strength and conditioning.
All right, brother, so what do you think is the most important thing to know for the people out there about strength and conditioning for MMA?
There are a lot of things to know about strength and conditioning for MMA. We're going to try to sum it up in one short video. You're not going to have all the details, it's really individual, but we're going to give you the most important points. One of the biggest problems in strength and conditioning for MMA is, I think there are usually two camps or two types of coaches. Either they say strength and conditioning is more important than everything, and they focus everything on strength, and they think they can overpower more skilled opponents with just pure strength, which is totally delusional. Or the other camp is the other guys that don't do strength and conditioning at all and think only technique is gonna bring them to world championship level, which is not true too. There are some outliers out there who can get away with it and become world champions, but
the truth lies in the middle, right?
The truth lies somewhere in the middle. With strength and conditioning, you're not gonna become a genetic freak. You're not gonna get punching power like Ilya Topuria or conditioning like Merab Dvalishvili. You can get better, but you need some genetic predispositions to get to those crazy levels. But I can give you some insights and you can get to the best level of your genetic potential and we can make the best out of you.
Could you help 100 people with your strength and conditioning defeat a gorilla?
No.
Brain damage.
All right, so for a real MMA fighter, how often would you put in a strength and conditioning session a week?
So it depends how much time you have and how much time you want to put in and what your goal is. So if you only have 3 days per week to train, it's better to put those 3 days into wrestling, striking, jiu-jitsu instead of doing strength conditioning. But if you're already serious and you put in 5 to 6 times per week into those areas and you're really skilled and get better, it's nice to add some additional trainings, 3 times per week, let's say, additional conditioning and strength training. I would do it quite simple. I would do 2 training sessions a week where you do strength, only about like 30 to 45 minutes of strength training. That is enough. People think it's crazy that they need a lot of, a big amount of strength training and they work out like bodybuilders, which is one of the biggest mistakes. They do a lot of sets, a lot of volume, and then they get too tired for their skill training, which is MMA. The thing is, you get tired to training, your central nervous system is tired out and you cannot get in the information properly into your body of the movements from your skill training. So that's why you see a lot of people who like to can lift a lot of weight. They don't move so fluent and their body just cannot adapt to the new skills because they use all their energy for the strength and conditioning.
And that's where steroids come in, with the sponsor from today's video.
Yeah, steroids is a big help for sure. If you do steroids, you're way more capable to train 2-3 times per day and you can get away with a lot of mistakes.
Why would you know about that?
Because I'm strong and jacked too. No, just joking. I'm really into that stuff. I'm a fighting nerd. I know every aspect of this, and so steroids are a big problem in the sport. And I hope you never use steroids.
You juicehead turkey and you juicehead turkey.
So what I would really like to know is, how do you split that? Because I work out in the gym, lifting weights 3 times a week. I do chest and arms for the clubs. And I do back on one day, the whole back, and the legs on one day as well. And the rest of the day, 4 days, I train martial arts. That's probably not the right way to go. How would you do that?
That's true, that's not the right way. That's like a bodybuilding type of training. I would never do a full leg day. So if you do a full leg day, that's way too much stress on your central nervous system. I would always do full body training. I would keep it quite simple, do 4 to 6 full body strength exercises. I like to do compound lifts. So you cover everything with some lifts. So for example, on one day I like to do like squats, deadlifts, pull-ups, push-ups, some core, and maybe like side raises for the shoulder. That's it, you get it in 45 minutes. And a big mistake what a lot of people do, they do like 5 sets, they go to the limit. Mostly it's enough like to do 1 warm-up set and then 2 proper sets. And if you really feel tired and you feel like, oh, today I don't have the energy and you have a hard training tomorrow, it's even enough if you do just 1 hard set. You don't always need to do 3 sets, you can get stronger with 1 to 2 hard sets where you go hard but never go too hard because it's not your main goal.
And is there like a golden kind of repetition part? Because I always, for most exercises, I do 4 sets of 8 reps for each exercise I do. Is there like, I think if you do more reps, probably better for the muscle cardio and stuff like that. So what would you recommend, or does it depend on the exercise you do or something like that?
This is highly individual and it depends a lot of what your goal is to achieve in that strength and conditioning session. But I would always divide conditioning, so cardio, and strength. So if you do strength training, you want to get stronger. So if you do like 8 to 12 repetitions, which is a long time under tension, which grows your muscle, which is not necessarily your goal for MMA. You don't want to get too big, so you jump up a weight class and then you're still not really stronger. You want to stay the same weight, but get stronger. So I would recommend to do in your working sets 3 to 6 reps, high load, low volume to get stronger.
That's what the girls always get from me, high load. Yeah. Low volume, low repetition.
Low volume, low repetition.
Over quick.
High load.
High load.
You're doing it right, man.
All right. Yeah, sorry, keep going.
Where was I?
The high loads.
The high load, yeah, right. So you want to get stronger, you want your central nervous system to fire at the same time as much muscles as possible, and you don't want to do too much repetitions where you grow your muscle too much. That's one thing, and you talk also about like muscle conditioning, like cardio. So I would divide that, do strength on 1 or 2 days, and then do cardio on the other days. Yeah, conditioning.
Okay.
I build that cardio in the bedroom.
And so how would you do the conditioning part then?
People do often the big mistake, they do zone 3 training. So that's somewhere in between a heart rate like 150 to 160, and they do like 30 minutes of conditioning, and that doesn't get them better conditioning. So what I would recommend is doing a longer session, like 45 to 60 minutes of zone 2, which is a heart rate like of 130 to max 140, where you get your base condition better. Therefore, you can do whatever you like. You can do the air down, you can go run. You can also do bag work, shadow boxing. The good thing is about shadow boxing or bag work, while you work your conditioning, you work also the same time your skill, so you save some time on that part. And the other part is that you go into those zone 5 moments, because in a fight, when you go really hard, your heart rate goes up to 180, 190, 200, it depends on the person, and you get in those high zones. So do one zone 2 cardio, like a longer session, 45 to 60 minutes, and then a high intensity interval session where you do like different intervals. You can go maybe 1 minute all out and then 2 to 3 minutes rest, or 20 seconds like to the limits and then 2 minutes rest, 1 minute go, 4 minute rest. There are different high interval training methods. You can try them, which works best for you, and get your heart rate to the zone 5, get back down. As in a fight, you go really hard, punch hard, takedowns, and then you're defending. That's how a fight works. So I would combine those two, build your base cardio with zone 2, and then get used to those high heart rate moments with the high intensity interval training.
So we have the conditioning, we have the strength. So how would you structure that during the week?
A really hard question. That's what most coaches struggle actually with, to build a weekly schedule, and it's highly individual, and it depends also how you feel during this week. So it's important to not overdo it. So I wouldn't do more than 3 hard days per week. So I would schedule it like on Monday you do a high intensity day where you do like wrestling, hard conditioning and stuff. And then on Tuesday, maybe you do something more technical, zone 2 training, so your body can regenerate and get out the stress out. Then on Wednesday, you can go hard again. Then Thursday, easy, Friday, hard. So switch it up between high intensity and low intensity, and your body is gonna feel the best like this, and you're gonna get the most out of it. And also, after a few weeks, you should give your body like a rest week. You can still do the same workouts.
Like Trevor Whitman does, right?
Like Trevor Whitman does, or Firas Zahabi. Firas Zahabi, as a method we did his athletes, he does always 3 intense weeks. And then on the 4th week, he does the same training, just with low intensity, so their body can heal, their central nervous system can renew. And then week 5, they start again all over, 3 hard weeks, 4th week easy. And he says they have way less injuries, get more benefit out of it. So he's one of the best coaches. I would definitely listen to him.
So during the whole year, do you always train the same, or do you switch up the plan, or what do you do?
This is also highly individual, especially if you're, let's say, fighting and you finish the fight, you had your fight, and then the months after you decide you want to build up more strength or more conditioning. So I would take maybe after a fight, focus more on, for 2-3 months, more on strength, get that to another level, and then switch the plan back up, because you need to focus on specific things. You cannot get better at everything at the same time. So it's good to have a focus maybe 2-3 months on strength to build some good base. And when you have the base, you maybe don't need to do that again, because you have that solid base. Then maybe you focus for a few weeks or months more on the conditioning part. And it depends if you have a fight upcoming. So the closer you get to a fight, the more fighting specific it should be, and the less volume you should put in the gym. And maybe the further away you're from the gym, you can take more time for strength and conditioning.
Okay, so how close up until the fight would you do strength and conditioning? During fight week, do you do any strength and conditioning, or?
For myself, I like to do strength and conditioning also like in the fight week. On Monday, I still do strength and conditioning. I still do like explosive stuff, jumps, stuff like this, but I don't do any more heavy weights because your central nervous system gets too tired. What are you laughing?
You said
brother.
Explosive stuff, I thought about brother.
This guy.
Bedroom cardio, brother.
This guy only stupid.
A little bit stupid. I don't understand this guy.
No, I would do like in the last few weeks, you can still do strength and conditioning, but don't overdo it. You need the energy for more fight-specific stuff, but you still want to keep your strength on a certain level, especially the explosivity. You lose that quite quickly, so even in the last week, I would do some explosive stuff like jumps, ball throws. Bro, this guy, take it
I
serious.
always do explosive stuff every day.
This is why I beat this guy always up. He doesn't take it seriously.
Show me video footage, but I don't know video footage.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so those were the informations that you need for your MMA training schedule. And in the next video, we'll show you the 10 best strength and conditioning exercises for MMA. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, like this video, guys. Comment down below if you have any questions for Mr. Grujo, and he will gladly answer them. And yeah, as I said, subscribe, like, and stay bloody, you guys. Until the next one, bye-bye. Bloodsport out.